keeps recording. Okay, so welcome to another recap of Dancing with the Stars. It is week 4, season 22, Disney night. Zendaya was the guest judge, and Mandy Moore did the opening number. I think, is that her name? Mandy Moore? Yeah. Let's just get started. There was a few scoring incidents, but you know, whatever. Okay, so up first we had Antonio and Sharna, and they got a jazz to Friend Like Me from, I almost said Tarzan, woo, from Aladdin. They got a 35. It wasn't deserved. It was a very simplistic routine, very, very simplistic, it was good for Antonio and his dance of the season, best dance of the season, but it wasn't enough to warrant a 35. It was only enough to warrant probably a 30. If he got a 35 for that dance, I would have given Kim and Sasha and Vaughn and Whitney 36s or like 38s. I probably would have thrown 10s in for those two because they were much better than him. And I would have given Niall, Wanye, and Paige perfect scores because all 5 of them were much better than Antonio. I don't know where these 9s came from. That was some of the strangest judging I've ever seen on this show, and I've watched this show for a while, and I've seen some strange judging, but that was really, 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 really just out there. So yeah, they got a 35. I wish that Sharna had choreographed a dance that was more reminiscent of Aladdin instead of only being able to tell because she dressed up like Jasmine and the song was Friend Like Me. But you know, whatever. Next we had Marla and Tony. They got a 28. They have a waltz to Part of Your World by, but from The Little Mermaid. I thought Marla did a good job. This was a good dance for her to go out on. She was very lyrical, very beautiful. Great lines. Her legs were great. Part of Your World is a terrible waltz song. It's not in waltz time, but you know, with just 3/4 rather than 4/4. But she did a good job. She's very pleasant to watch. I wish we could have seen her last one more elimination, but you know, it happens. They did do a very good job. She did a lot better than I thought she was going to do. Landed in about the same place that I thought she was going to land, but you know, I did enjoy her at the end of the day and her run in the show. I do think judges could have given her 1/8 just as a parting gift because it wasn't a bad dance. It was actually, for me, I felt like it was her best dance, and I felt like she was the most confident in that dance than in any other dance she's done this season, but that's just me. Next we have Niall and Kim. Oh my gosh. Niall and Peta. And they had a Samba to Trash in the Camp from Tarzan. They got a 34. It was really good. It was really, really, really good. There were a few just awkward and questionable moments where it's just like, oh, what was that? Why did that happen? But other than that, I thought they did a great job. Niall had really good hip action, which is something that male celebrities tend to really struggle with, but he had it down pat. Peta really dialed back her choreography, and Niall's natural talent and natural ability to dance really shone through, and it just was a really good dance. It was my favorite dance from them this season by far. So yeah. Next we had Doug and Karina. They had Jazz to Spoonful of Sugar from Mary Poppins. They got a 24. I will say that Doug tried. He tried really hard. He made it through the dance. And he did most of the dance that he was supposed to do, if not all of it. The thing is, he struggled to keep up. It just wasn't a very good dance for him. He did take a couple steps back. But they did make it through elimination. I'm excited to see what they have in store for us. well, what he has in store for us with his switch up partner next week, and I hope that this is the case this week, that they won't eliminate anybody during switch up week this season like they have from past seasons. But I don't know. The show does whatever it wants to do whenever it wants to do it, so you never know what's going on. But yeah. Also, Karina put in a nice little moonwalk in that dance that I really enjoyed. So yeah, just a little thing that I liked in there. Kim and Sasha were next. They had a quick step. They got a 32. This couple is still my favorite of the season. I love them and I love their partnership. I love how well they work together, how well they mesh. They're both very silly. I just enjoy that. This quick step was really good. I like seeing Kim's shoulders finally sort of settle down because they have been rising up throughout the season. So seeing them just settle down and seeing this part of her relaxed was very nice. Her footwork could use a bit of work. I will chalk that up to probably her shoes. She was wearing boots and it looked a little clunky. I think had she worn heels or like heel boots instead of just like normal boots, I think it would have looked a little bit better. Otherwise, I thought it was great. It also kind of her carriage and her frame, I thought could have been just a little bit better, but otherwise I thought she did a great job. The score was right on a normal night, and I will leave it at that because I already said what I thought earlier about the score. Jody and Keo were next. They had a cha-cha to Try Everything by Shakira from Zootopia, which I really want to see. Oh, Kim and Sasha did a quick step to I Want to Be Like You from the Jungle Book, and I really want to see that movie when it comes out this Friday or Friday. Whenever these movies come out, I don't know when these movies come out anymore. But yeah, Jody and Keo had a cha-cha, 27, Try Everything. This dance made me sad just because they had such a high with that foxtrot last week, and it was a major breakthrough for her, and then this week they kind of went back a bit, and honestly, for me, I thought it was good when she wasn't lost, but she was lost and there were just so many mistakes that it was all right. I do think the 6 from Lynn was a bit low. I think it probably should have gotten about a 29. I think a 29 would have been good. An 8 from Zendaya. But, you know, mistakes happen. She said she couldn't hear the music. I believe her because it was a recording. She has no reason to lie about it anyway, but it was a recording. It was the actual track that they played, which isn't going to sound nearly as good as a live band when you're in a venue like that. And on top of that, there's a bunch of fans just around the stage screaming at her. So, you know, I understand how that could just make you lose your focus and lose your choreography. Keo did try to bring her back, but things just kind of got way out of hand. And it was just hard for her to come back. It was hard for him to bring her back. But I like how Keo's been there for her. He's really turning into actually a pretty good pro, which I'm so happy about. So happy that he's showing that Black people can be pro dancers on Dancing with the Stars too. Because for a moment there, I was like, oh my gosh, Keo, please do well so that they don't regret this decision and never put another Black person on as a pro ever again. And finally, he's coming into his own and he's really figuring things out. So I'm happy. I'm really, really happy. Hopefully they don't leave. They've been in jeopardy twice in a row now, so that's not very good for her in the coming future. Hopefully her not bottom two, but in jeopardy appearances get her fans to vote just a bit more because I really want to see more from them. Next were Vaughn and Whitney. They had the Viennese Waltz to not So This Is Love, but A Dream Is a Wish Your Heart Makes from Cinderella. They got a 32. Whitney looked stunning in that dress, in her hair. Just she looked great. And Vaughn looked really good too. Very, very dapper, very handsome. I liked how I like this partnership too. This is my favorite Whitney partnership since Alfonso, and actually I think I might like this partnership better than Alfonso's. I just like their dynamic together, how just the way they work together. This was Vaughn's best dance. He was very fluid, very graceful. They're really starting to work out how they work with each other, her being 5'2", him being, I think, 6'6". I think they're figuring out how to make the height difference work in their favor. I just thought he did a really good job. You could tell they really paid attention to detail this week. Besides his turns being kind of iffy and some footwork issues, I thought it was a really good dance. Ginger and Val were next. They got a foxtrot, they got a 36. This was the second score of the night. It shouldn't have gotten a 36. By no means am I saying that this was a bad dance, because it was a good dance when they did dance, because they didn't start dancing until about 40 seconds into the dance. It was supposed to be a foxtrot. I saw more tango in that than I saw a foxtrot. The foxtrot that she did in hold, her hold was really good, but she just didn't do enough for me to really be like, okay, she's got a really good hold. Because she could have a good hold for 5 seconds and then it just plops out. But whatever. Honestly, I thought this probably should have gotten about a 32, just because of the content and the lack thereof, and how much messing about they did at the very beginning of the dance. And at the end of the dance, there's also lifts that Carrie Ann didn't call out. Marla had lifts also, but there are lifts that Carrie Ann did not call out that she has calling out for people in the past on Disney Week. But you know, whatever. Again, not saying that this wasn't a good dance. It was a good dance, but it should not have gotten this score. It should have gotten a little bit lower. Which makes me wonder why they scored her so high. Especially Lynn, because he would have, any other time, he would have blew up over the fact that there was 40 seconds of nothing done. Next we have Wanya and Lindsay. They had a Samba, they got a 35. Should have been higher. They should have gotten the highest score of the night, or at least tied for the highest score of the night. These two are unstoppable. Lindsay's choreography was great. Wanya is amazing. I love them. Wanya is my favorite male contestant on this show to date. He just knows what he's doing. It gets on the stage and owns it every single time. Just owns it. I just honestly, whatever Carrie Ann said, I don't understand why she said that, because it was stupid. But yeah, for me, this really reminded me of Julianne and Apollo's Samba back in season 4, just kind of an updated, more modern version of it, more modern and edgy version of it, but that's what it really reminded me of, kind of like just like Lindsay, not even just like the couple, but Lindsay breaking out and saying, here I am, take notice of me, I'm here. So yeah, great. Finally, we had Paige and Mark. They had a quick step to You've Got a Friend in Me from Toy Story. They got a 36. This dance was amazing. Mark's very creative. Paige handled it beautifully. She's kept up with all of it. It was a very complex dance. They fit in so much, and it all worked. I loved it. But yeah, that was the night. Marla got eliminated, as I said. Next week is a switch-up week. I did enjoy Disney Week minus the 2 scoring things, but you know, that's whatever. So yeah, I will be back next week with another recap. Until then, bye.